who can hand out instructions for retreat if they need it.
I need to sign.
I'm just going to be checking in first to make sure that everyone can hear. Can I get a nod? Yeah, great. Everyone can hear. Wonderful. Thank you. We have just passed around the daily Bodhisattva prayer, and it is my aspiration for our Sangha to memorize this in the 30 plus days that there will be retreat. And so it's my request to all those who will be standing here in the role of guide to recite this and to invite others to recite it as well. I also am going to send this by email so that you can put it up on the screen for those who, since we'll be on Zoom primarily. So I'm going to do that now. Does that feel like something everybody would be willing to take on? during this retreat time. This will mean that you're going to recite this once a day. I'd keep the paper with me. I'd put it in my phone where it's now in my text. I can send it to you because I have it there if you would like that as a text as well, right? It just makes it easier. Having it everywhere helps. Having it everywhere helps us remember. And that helps. Reciting, repeating, reminding was the Buddha's own idea about how to keep the good in mind. Repeating, reciting, reminding, how to keep the good in mind. And where we place our words, of course, we also must place first the heart mind. So does that make sense for everyone? Makes sense for you. Does this make you a Buddhist now? Does this mean you have to take, of course it does not. Does this make you a bodhisattva? Well, it does. Well, it does. Your willingness to not only then recite the words, but become them, right? That's the point of prayer, isn't it? All prayer throughout all time is to recite it, to place the mind wholly, the heart wholly in it, and at least for the moment, become it. And so that's my request of our community, if you would undertake it. I will be doing the same. I will be speaking it out loud every day, both in the dome and at night, so that I don't get into trouble with my vocal things. Often in retreat time, people would do things like chant, right? Just to make sure the voice gets the exercise it needs. It's not just the heart and mind during that. I've already been told by several people that they'll be coming on Wednesday. I'm very excited about that. I've also gotten word that several people will now be staying at Quest Haven. That's also lovely. If you have not yet signed up, and I do know that some people already have, if you have not and are planning to be in residence, please do, so that we know what is available and what is not available.
So you have to do 2 nights for this.
You by Quest Haven request. It is a 2-night requirement. I don't think that's specific to us.
Stay there. If you want to come.
Oh, just pay
you have to pay.
Yeah. So that's just the way they're choosing to do it, and we're respectful and regarding of their needs.
There was a question about what start Thursday.
I did not put it in there because I will be already started.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, I think Carrie is saying 3:00. Is that correct?
It's just
3.
3.
Yeah.
Sitting.
Yeah. I'm going to be there. So from my personal point of view, I don't have any problem with you being on the grounds. The problem is the keys will
That's why I was asking.
not yet be available till Carrie arrives. Well, you're going to be there all day. So then from my point of view, I'd come whenever you want. I'd rather have you there than not have you there, to tell you the truth. Why wait till 3 if you can get there at noon, or right? And then Carrie can support you when she's around, only because I don't want people coming in and out of the sitting area at that point. So I don't, I don't want that distraction at that stage of the retreat. For me. Okay, any other questions about retreat? Since we're there, we just handed out a little schedule for those. I also sent it by newsletter. I can also send it to anyone who needs it by email. So if you need it by email, just as a in-hand item, could you let me know? And I will get that to you this evening. Just chat me about that or text me about that. I see some chats. Let me just check in on that. Okay, good. So I want to talk for then just a moment about love. Because boy, I keep learning a lot. Keep learning a lot. Wow. Uh, when I had my son, uh, when Tanner was born, uh, I knew really from the moment he was born that there was something different. I didn't know what it was yet, but he didn't look in my eyes. He looked everywhere else. And as he began to grow, he didn't speak. He didn't mumble words, and he didn't say mama and baba or dada or any of those things. And I went, okay, something is here. And I realized that early, before a diagnosis, before all the things that confirm something in its constellation, I realized, uh-oh, this is going to be hard. This is going to be hard. This is going to be hard because I like words. I like to love with words. Uh-oh. And I'm not going to get that. That's my old way. It's not going to work. And I grieved that. I grieved that. Oh shit. My very favorite flavor of love. And it's not going to look like this. And I grieved it hard. But what I realized only years later was that I wasn't grieving for love at all, because that was not gone. That was not lessened at all. That had not been taken at all. The only thing that had been taken, if that's even the right word, and in fact, I know I'm clear, nothing was taken, it was only gifted, was that I couldn't do it my favorite way. My favorite way no longer was going to work best. And that was simply about my preference. That was it. There wasn't less love. There was no lessened capacity. In fact, quite the opposite. Things have only grown as it relates to love. And so, what I've been working with a lot with this retreat, then also, is what is going to be the greatest form of love? What is that? Because I had ideas about that. I had ideas about retreat. I had ideas about one place. I had ideas about who should be there and not be there. I had right, all these ideas. And beautifully, perfectly, those ideas all fell to the ground. Perfectly to the ground. Why? So that I could love in the way that is then what most precious to this moment, this circumstance, these needs, these, right? Nothing taken, nothing lessened, only preference, once again. And so then my mother, who's now going to need double hip surgery soon, is saying, what do you mean you're not going to be there? What do you mean you can't stay with me? What do you mean? I'm in. And the only thing I have said is, I love you, and I'm going to do my best to love you. I don't know what that's going to look like, do I? I don't know. So everyone has said, well, are you going to come out of retreat or you're not going to come out of retreat? I don't know. Is she going to have the surgery in April or May or June? I don't know. Are you going to go to Kauai anyway or not go to Kauai anyway? I don't know. And it's the only right answer, then, isn't it? What I do know, and I know this for sure, is I am going to love her. I am going to love her. And so I'm reassuring her of that now. I don't know what it'll look like. I know that can be scary, right? Because I'm not saying I'm going to show up on Thursday. I'm going to be there on Friday. I cannot. I could never have said it anyway. Could I? Could I say today I would be there on Friday? Not even a little, but we love the idea, don't we? We love the idea. And right, when we're fearful, when we feel lonely, when we're scared, when we're pained, we, all of us, including me, want, right? I want it. I want to know. I want to know now. I want it to look a certain way. I want it to be a certain way. Well, I want you to know this is not love at all. And it is not the practice either, is it? So what do I stay in the hard spot of I don't know? And she says, what do you mean you don't know? Don't you run that thing? No. No, I don't run that thing because that thing's life. I don't run that thing. No. But I will. I can promise you, right? And so will I be at Quest Haven when you're all at Quest Haven? You know what? I don't know. But you don't know either, do you? You don't know you're going to make it. You signed up, but for any infinite number of reasons. And we'll just keep calling that the preciousness of this human life. And then how do we abide it? How do we abide it then? Right. And so today, besides the two commitments I want us to begin practicing, one is to read the Bodhisattva prayer. The other then is to practice today what I'm going to ask that we practice during our time in retreat at Quest Haven, which is the non-meditation meditation practice. Why? Well, because we're in a beautiful space, number one, because we have to open to everything, number two, and we have to practice it because we are not left to our own device good at it. We'll get caught by the flower and the bird and the tree and just recognize that that's where we are, right? And then we'll open back up into open space and do it for maybe one more breath again. How's that sound? Okay. Anything anybody wants to say about this? You know this, don't you? You know every moment that preference stepped in, every moment that you thought it was supposed to go a certain way. And I want everybody to be clear about this. Your heart closed. Your heart closed that moment, every single one. Your heart closed. This is the consequence. Not the emotion that you then felt, not the argument you then had, not the, your heart closed. And so whatever you do, in whatever way you choose those infinite forms of love, then I will guarantee you this, there will probably not be applause from anyone. Let's start there. Not anyone, except your own heart. Because I know this is why I can easily say to my mother, I love you and I will love you then. I don't know what that's going to look. And so then every meditation simply becomes this, doesn't it? Opening completely without preference, without bias, without opinion. It doesn't mean you're not having them. By the way, it means what? I let them come and be and dissolve and go, just like the breath, just like the cloud, right? It doesn't mean they won't appear because our humanness will. And then we smile. We smile. Okay, we get it. So here we are. I'm going to put on the, for the group. I apologize that I didn't do that yet. Let's see if I can find this. Carrie, can you see that? All right, so we have in front of us that Bodhisattva prayer. Unfortunately, I can't show it all, right? Thank you. We're going to be reciting this out loud here. And if you all want to, you can there too. There'll just be a little lag of, but you know, the echo can't hurt us at all. Anybody else need one before we begin? Can everyone see that? Do we have that? Megan, I can see your beautiful face down there. Do you have that? Can you see it? Okay, here we go. Then I'll strike the bell at the end and then I'll offer instruction. May I be a guard for those who need protection, a guide for those on the path, a boat, a raft, a bridge for those who wish to cross the flood. May I be a lamp in the darkness, a resting place for the weary, a healing medicine for all who are sick, a vase of plenty, a tree of miracles, and for the boundless multitudes of living beings, may I bring sustenance and awakening, enduring like the earth and the sky, until all beings are free from sorrow and all are awakened. The bottom part is for the closing. And so you can place that down. I'm actually not going to ring the bell. And so you're going to find as comfortable a body posture as you can while being wakeful. And so we're just going to rest in softening the body, relaxing the body with these first few breaths. This practice is from the Vajrayana school and the Dzogchen tradition. There is no closed eye required, though the eye it may naturally close at times, so that we can get the inner, outer, and both view. Inner, outer, and both. And so we're going to rest the eye 3 to 4 feet in front of us. We're not going to elect an object. The object of all Dzogchen training is open, sky-like, empty space. The open eye is representative of the completely opened heart-mind. Separated from nothing, closed off from nothing, all apart and all interconnected. Just breathe there. You want to find an easeful breath. No grasping or clinging to the breath or to the body in any way. This is the practice of no struggle, no resistance, no demand. Notice how even as you are holding the eye door open, and the eye door will be somewhat distracting for the first few moments, and that's just fine. It just, we don't know how to practice, including the visual field, which is how we can get so clunky in our everyday lives. The eye door may blur a little because there is no object, and you can let it do so. If it feels like you're doing absolutely nothing, you're very close. The practice of being fully alive, fully awake to the present moment without accessory, without artifice, without tacking anything on at all. See if you can notice the breathing, and with each breath, let go of that tiny grip, that wanting mind. Release it with each out breath as we soften the body. If the eyes become tired or strained, you can close them, rest them for a few breaths. It often means you are trying not to see. There's a certain strain that comes with that as well. You can try lowering the eye a little. And then in awareness of space, the space that we are, the space that is all around us, the boundless space of our own awakened heart minds, we open another sense door. Let's just open and now include as well hearing. Feeling where those tiny points of holding are right there in the breath. You may even close the eye for just a moment to turn inward to feel where that is. We're not going to keep the eye closed, but we're using that inner landscape. And see if you can release that tiny grip. Soften up. Open. And then include the eye door when you're ready. No object is eliminated from this practice. Everything included. We don't force the eyes open either. We include the eyes. We include open space and the recognition of open space with the eye door. But if it feels wearying, once again, let the eyes rest. Open to the ever changing field. With complete awareness. Let the whole heart mind take the shape of that space. Feel the vibrations of the dog barking in the body. See if you can get a sense of how that first vibrated in the morning. And in the heart. Can we love this too? Checking back into the body. Letting it become pliable, receptive. Allowing. Notice the habits of mind. Referencing the wanting or not wanting. And opening to include that as well. You'll notice that even with your eyes open, you can catch the jangle of the breath. A little grip, a little hook. And remember, we're using everything as the path. Using not only the eye door, the ear door, the body door. We use emotions as well. Sensations as well. And then whatever the sound, whatever the sensation, whatever the sight, we remember that just like me, others feel this too. Feeling exactly how we feel and opening into it. Little man's giving us a beautiful opportunity to be with the contraction. And rather than resist or fight against or look for something else, see if we can't just breathe right in. And unlike my relationship to the dog here, I'm going to offer a little soothing to him. What I'd like us to do is first open, know what we're soothing. We have to make contact. And then we have to be willing to stay with it. Watch for the tendency to block out, distract, find something more pleasant, more appealing. See if we can't stay with the grip, the tight spot, the tender one. And then see if we could notice what we prefer, what we push away, what we shut down to. Not in the dog bark, but in ourselves. Our own distress, our own pain, our own fear, our own grief. Our own despair or confusion, our own aloneness. Just like me, others feel this too. And then expanding the field of awareness, raising the eyes to, eye level, and then just seeing the space and the objects in them that are everywhere. And see if you can stay in that open, receptive, softened, and allowing body, object by object, space upon space. Opening to everything. And the truth is, it's easier when it's a bird and a palm frond wafting in the breeze than when it's a fighter jet. Or a bomb going off. Or someone crying, screaming. And we train for it all. So that we become simply a source of opening, opening and opening and opening in love. And then inviting the attention back to the body. You can close the eye if needed, just to make contact with how you are right now. And then offering any gentle movement. Inviting that continued opening. So helpful, little man. So helpful. So maybe I meant Anson. And so. And then, we can reflect on our lives, can't we? And we can begin to capture all those moments where instead of opening, we right, we got caught in the grip. And the consequence of that, and it's suffering, pure and simple suffering, every time, always, no exceptions. However subtle, however, the truth is, it's suffering. And it's suffering not only for you, it's suffering for all those who have now been deprived of that love. Because I had a preference, a color, a shape, a flavor, the preferred word, the preferred actions, right? If you really loved me, this. right? And then we begin that process that we're very, very comfortable with of shutting down. Of shutting down. Because life is not designed to meet our preference, is it? It is not. It is designed for us to keep learning how to open to, right? And we are in the perfect place for that. We have the perfect life for that. Not this one. No, don't do it. Any other. I like that other guy's. Looks better over there. Right? I've got some chats. I'll check in, then we'll check in with the group here. Let's see. I'm going to go all the way back for a moment here. Constant beginner's mind over and over and over. Rarely do we arrive completely open. That's right. This is a good practice for me, says Megan. Yesterday was my 40th birthday. Well, happy birthday, baby girl. And I was so caught up with perfectionism and the grip of attachment and preference, and it was awful. It is the cause of all suffering. Isn't it? Yes, it is. The all suffering. All suffering. So if we are in suffering, what can we know? This heart, this mind is currently closed. Can't you? Automatic. We know them. They are bound wholly together. If I am in suffering, this heart mind is currently closed. True? We don't like it. We don't like it though. If only something else, if only, right? Then I could be open. We conditionalize life, we conditionalize partners, we conditionalize birthdays, we conditionalize pets. If only he wasn't barking, this would have been a lot better. Don't we? Megan, what do you understand about this?
It makes sense to me because I think I wanted like this perfect, I don't know, like this, oh, it's 40, it's this big one, and it has to be like this, and oh my gosh, now you're this age, and you tell someone, and I got a comment about it, and I'm 3 years older than my husband, which isn't like significant, but then I was like, I'm all on my own, I'm the one who's 40, I don't know, there's all this grasping, versus just, which makes everything have to be a way that is impossible because nothing's ever perfect.
Yeah.
Versus being completely open to like what's here and just
yeah, what's here?
All of it, even like the perfectionism, open to that and then loosening that grip on that flow.
Yeah, opening to your own perfectionism is beautiful. What a birthday gift.
Yeah.
That would be opening to your own preference, your own wanting. What is it we want with all these preferences? Do you think? Why is it that we go, it's got to go like this and this and this? What are we looking for? Why? We're looking for perfection. Why? Something stability, something affirming, something validating, something I'm okay. And I know I'm okay because you bought me that very expensive thing. Or 25 people came to the party, not 2. Or, right? Who's talking? Who's talking? Right?
It's so fair.
It's fear talking. Yeah, fear. Or what you don't know. It's all right. Fear is talking. Love like this. I don't know how many times in my 40 years as a therapist I've heard, I'm deserving of this love. I'm like, really? Why? Why? Why like that? Who decided that? I do believe everyone is deserving of safety. I do think that's an aspiration. I also know we don't get it. don't we? But why am I deserving of that love? Who decided that? Some fearing, egoic part that went, unless you can love me like this. Right. Which is actually doesn't have too much to do with love, as it turns out. At all. Does it? Not that I've noticed. Not that I've noticed.
Confusing. Like,
Can be confusing.
just kind of strain it out. Like, what is the love and what is
That's
my
right.
own desire of what it looks like?
What it should look like. That's right. I think everybody here, Robin, she said it can be confusing because what's really just I am deserving by virtue of my being human and alive, and then what is this preferencing piece? Yeah. We like the idea of safety, right? For sure. Regard. We do. I don't know that we, in our humanness, always offer it. I know for sure I haven't, I will say. I know for sure, as much as I claim to love, I have not always offered safety.
It's intangible. It's intangible. What is it?
It's very hard to know it, except by some right felt sense. And it doesn't, I don't want to talk about who's deserving of what, because I think that's a conversation that, right, again, in a therapeutic setting, I hear a lot of people say, I deserve to be happy. True. And not true. Isn't it? It's true and not true. That's why we say it that way. Right? And then we really have to be careful about what we think that happy. We have all kinds of ideas, right, about what that will. And that's often a part of our closing, not a part of our opening. If I could have this, if it would be like that, and we go right into the litany of preferencing. And I think we have to watch that. How do we know it? Well, I can tell you I know it most by the fact that I'm actually contracted in it, not open in it. I'm actually gripping, or right, trying to hold, as Lisa said, secure something. That's not love, is it? That's not what love feels like, looks like, and it is the path to suffering. It is the certain path to suffering. Very different than saying, I'll just use the example that I gave today, saying to my mother, I love you. I'm going to keep doing that. And I don't know what that's going to look like. But I have a confidence in that, by the way, which I did notice calms her. Calms her, which is, well, okay. I hope so. No, you can be sure. You can be sure of this. It doesn't mean I'm going to be there exactly when you wanted me to be either, is the truth. Isn't it? It's the truth. I did not add that last sentence. Why? Because there was no value to that. Really. Doesn't mean it is or isn't true. Right? And so think about every moment. Just think about the last day where you went. What Megan did was so lovely, Megan, for you to bring yourself as that example. 40th birthday, 0 birthdays, big deals, right? It's supposed to be something. Right. And what's the truth of that? What is it supposed to be? Wholehearted, I would say, would be an amazing birthday. Right? If you could be completely wholehearted. And I heard you trying for that really by saying, could I even be open to my perfectionism and to my pain and to my wanting it some other way and to trying to be exactly then where I really was, exactly how I was? What a gift. What a beautiful 40th birthday gift. That is. So think about the last day or so and think about a moment of contraction. Won't be hard. Won't take long.
Well, I thought Little Man really kind of helped me actually.
Yes, he did.
because That was, I could feel that,
Yeah.
almost shaking. It was more the tone
Yes.
of his voice. And, I recognized it because you were saying,
Here it is.
remain open.
Yeah.
And it was almost like I felt like it was a flower that was trying to close, but
Yes.
and let go.
Yes. Very much. Yeah. Very much.
But it wasn't easy.
No, it is not easy.
Yeah,
It is not easy.
I think Little Man was our greatest gift this weekend.
He was a
100%.
great, yes.
Yeah.
It's why I let him really, because we can all feel the jangle. And if you didn't feel the jangle, you're dead. You literally are dead or have dead ends. But the jangle's not the problem.
It's interesting because he was jangling like, oh, I want to hold him. And I thought, it immediately flashed on the moment that Just was just jangling a couple days ago. And I thought, did I hold myself? Or did I just close down and feel hurt?
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly what we often do. And then try to change something out there,
Yeah, exactly.
like shut the dog up. I heard you all. Can't we get that dog? Somebody get that dog to quack? Right? Can't we? Because what? We don't like being in that distress, except that distress is not the same as suffering. We mistake it all the time. And then we say, I'm in suffering and I shouldn't be. But yes, you should. That is, in fact, the exact right response to something in distress, wouldn't it be? You would be in distress. That is the truth. Isn't it? That's the truth. Mirror neurons, folks. That's we're supposed to go, let me help you. And me. And me in this moment. Right? Because otherwise, who would? Who would jump in front of the thing? If I wasn't in distress, that's that false bliss that worries me. Like, well, you know, just a lifetime. Just a, yeah, it is what it is. My least favorite phrase.
Yeah.
Yes.
When we contract because our ego and we threaten, and then we find ourselves automatically defending.
Yes.
That's all suffering.
That's all suffering. It's all suffering.
In
That's right.
time, any place, for any reason.
Yes.
We get caught in the trap of defending the ego.
Yep. attack, fight or flight. It isn't the contraction itself that is suffering. The contraction is human, right? The vibration of being alive, called the, right? It is, I don't want that. I want that to go away. I want this to be secured, safe, and protected. And now I'm going to, with a lot of legitimacy, as we notice in all of those wars, I get to do whatever I do to whoever I do it to now because I've been threatened. And we do it, don't we? That's how I've not been safe, because I went, really? Okay, watch this. Watch this, because I got a bigger mouth than you. And that's for sure. Right? Watch this. And then I can feel safe and protected for a moment by my own aggression. Until what? You look at the damage. And the damage isn't just out here at all. From my point of view, the damage is all right here. That I have to be able to shut down something now to make sense of that aggression, to make sense of the blame, to make sense of the shaming, to make sense of the judging, right? I have to shut something down here in order to tolerate my own aggression. It just isn't others, is it? It's my own. Which is why it's so beautiful, Megan, when you say, and then I sat with myself. What a gift. Right. Because the rest would have only been continued suffering. Right. And then you'd have had to do it again on your 50th, your 60th, and your 70th birthday. And now you won't. Right now you won't. And isn't that fabulous? Right. Do we get this idea? Remember, contractedness, just part of the polyvagal central nervous system. It's just contracting and expanding all the time. And really, it's what we do with it. It's just happening. Can I recognize, attend, attune, be with, breathe with, bear witness, open, open, open? Why? I said for about 20 something years. Why? It just hurts. It just hurts. Why open to that? Well, because that's actually the whole point. To open instead of close. Not only for myself, but then for others. That's the Bodhisattva path.
Sickness, old age, death, lose everything.
Yes. Right. Because it's going to happen either way. This is the kind of handy part of this. See, you're going to get all that open or closed. And then why not take on the human contract? Why not take it on? To go, since I'm here with the immutables, why not use it to the benefit, the welfare of myself and others? Why not then? Because otherwise I'm just breathing. Right. How many people do you think have said when they hear that I'm going into retreat for this time, I could never do that? Now that's happened no less than 200 times. No.
I have heard, what is the point of that again?
Yeah, I could never do that. And I said, no, of course you could. Of course you could. You are also capable of this, but you don't understand yet its benefit. And so it's not the right thing, right? It isn't right. That it would be inappropriate. It wouldn't be your best way of cultivating mindfulness or compassion today, right? It wouldn't be right. My sons have said the same thing. I don't know. I don't get it. I like the way you come back though. So go Even my husband, who would not choose to be away from me for a day, says, I understand now. I understand now. Right? How lovely is that? Not 1 ounce of resistance. I understand. Not, no doctrine, no cosmology, no, right? Didn't read any sutras. Didn't, what does he know? He knows love. He knows the heart. He knows his and he knows mine. And how lovely is
Yeah,
that?
it's so interesting because I get this picture of sailing away, just sailing away into vastness.
Sailing into vastness, yes. Available every moment. No specific conditions required. This is where the practice is. How do I do it in that long line when I only have 7 more minutes? And I went, no, I said I was making the minestrone. Somebody's got to get out of my way because I got to get those green beans before I head to, right? And what? In the recognition itself, we're halfway there. In the recognition of the contraction itself, we're already halfway home. We're not all the way home, but we're half. And can then I open to me and all those others just like me who want those green beans too, who have less minutes than I do. Right. No, I've worked it out. Carrie just delightfully, as she perfectly does, said, don't you need to go? And I'm going into a little art class today, a whole day of Tibetan art with a Tibetan art master. I have to bring a rock. Thank you. This is why I need Carrie. Forgot the rock, was not showing up with the rock. Carrie's not going to the class. No, Carrie just read the instructions for me. What does she need to get? Yeah. Oh, are you? Oh, Kyle, yay, yay. The reason we don't have to get there right away is I guess there's a little breakfasty thing.
Yeah.
Or some little thing, which is lovely. Kyle, if you notice that I don't have a rock, just, yeah, cover me. What a beautiful way to begin, right? And what? I have, you know, the art isn't really the point then, right? I would neither claim to be an artist, neither am I going to claim not to be. I'm just going to go be in an experience, which feels like just an amazing, lovely way to begin this retreat time. So I guess I better go look for a rock. Sounds like. We have all the days covered, I think, but a few.
2, yeah. 2.
Oh, 2. We're not too worried about it. Wednesday of next week and Saturday of next week at Pete's. That information is on that form and I can email it if somebody's written me that they need that. I hope to get to see you there. The next time I will get to see you would be sometime at Quest Haven then during that week. So I look forward to that. I want to thank you all for all of this support. I'm going to ask that you read as a support for me and then a support for you, that you read this prayer every day, that you recite it every time you are together, and that we will say it again when we are in retreat together in these next 3 weeks. My goal is that we will eventually memorize it. I'm not worried about that comes with the repetition in time. Anything else that we need to ask or say before we do our short final sitting? Let me read this. I would love to teach the art. I would not be the best at that, certainly, but I'd be happy to share it. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's sit for just a moment together. And if you began with closed eyes, open them. And taking it all in. Feeling that sense of interconnection to everything. The saw buzzing, the little man's little moans, the birds, the voice, the heart beating. And we begin always in that same way. We soften the body. We let it relax. And then we let go of grasping onto the breath. There's no holding back. We let that whole heart mind pour forth. In love. And then may we dedicate the merits, the blessings, the benefits, all that is good to the end of suffering and the realization of true, abiding, unconditional happiness and freedom for ourselves, for our loved ones, for those who are hungry, those who are lonely, those who are sick, those who are being born, and those who are done. May we offer these blessings, the blessing of our own open heart minds to all of them, until all beings are awakened, all beings are happy, and all beings are free. May we begin together, and may we continue. And may this practice contribute. So be it. Thank you all. Thank you. I'll look forward to seeing you. Thank you all so much. I hope you're there with us. If you can't be there in person, I hope you're there in practice with us. There's no one way, just like love. No one way to practice. All right, everyone, be well. I'll look forward to seeing you soon. If not during any of the retreat, I will be back here on the 4th. No, I'll be back on May 16th I'll be doing a Thursday and 14th and 16th. I'll be back and then I'll be in Kauai and gone for a little while longer, but I'll see you soon. All right.